everybody, it's Autumn. Today I wanted to go ahead and film my favorites for the month of July. This is a little bit late. We're well into August at this point, but I had actually just put up my June ones not too long ago, and I actually already have August favorites, but obviously I won't be mentioning those in this video. But every month in my planner, I actually on the side margin, like as I see things that are my favorite, I write in the margin like what my favorites are to kind of keep track of them throughout the month. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with some foundation favorites. The first one is by IT Cosmetics, and this is their CC Plus, and I actually used up an entire one of these in the light. But the reason that the medium is in my favorites is actually just because of the coloring. I absolutely love this stuff, and I was actually going to just give this away to somebody when I got it because I'm like, there is no way I'm ever going to be that dark. Well, it's actually a little bit light for me right now, just because I did get so much sun while in Hawaii. But I'm able to bronze up and things like that. But I was just going to toss this out because I'm like, I can't use that. I'm never going to be that dark. Same thing with the next foundation, which is the Perricone MD No Foundation Foundation Serum. When this first came out, they had kind of, like at Sephora, you could put in a code to try this out. And again, this came and this was their lightest shade, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so dark. Well, this is actually the color of my skin right now, which is their light to medium shade. It says number 2, but I think now you can actually possibly buy number 1. I have no idea. But this was like way too dark. But again, I've been loving it, and my skin has actually been awesome for the last month. Like, I finally just now got a little breakout right here. Excuse this, I had a little self-tanner mishap. But I finally got a little blemish right here. But my skin usually when I travel goes nuts. Traveling to there, it wasn't so bad, and then traveling back, no breakouts, no problems. And I think it was actually because I was using these. They both have very beneficial ingredients in them, and they work more like skincare as opposed to like just like a regular foundation would. The coverage on this is really, really good. It didn't feel too thick or heavy. And then this coverage is actually very light, but I didn't feel like I needed it because my skin was so good. And then the last thing that I want to talk about foundation-wise is this, which was a little bit dark for me. And this is in light to medium, and it's the Tarte. Well, it's in light to medium neutral. And this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay. And again, this was a sample. And I hadn't been using it, obviously, because it was way dark. Kind of show you. And now it's actually a little bit light. If I can kind of rub it in. So you can see it's a little bit light. But the texture it gives on the skin is really nice. And I'm really considering getting a full size of this when I use up the sample. But I've been loving this for like if this seems to like get a little bit too dewy. Or I know it's going to be, I need it to be long wearing, I would kind of pair this over top of this, and I felt like it did a really awesome job. So, been loving all of those, and I think that when you get foundation samples, like, just kind of hold on to them and save them for summer just in case, because I would have had to go out and buy like a ton of new foundation for my skin. So, yeah, I'm really happy to have these and be using them, and hopefully I can use this one up before my skin goes back to normal. I've been using my Clarins this to keep my face the same color as my body at this point, because since I use retinols and things on my face has actually like gotten a lot lighter compared to my body, but this has actually helped to keep it like the same color. That's what this tanning mishap on my hand is. But anyway, I've really been loving those things. The next item I want to talk about is actually just one thing out of this palette. And this is the Ambient, well I guess 2 things. It's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I think it's just like the trio. And dim light, I hadn't hardly used at all. It was so dark on my winter skin that I was actually able to use it as a very subtle contour. And it worked great for that. If you can kind of see like the tone it worked as a great contour. But now I can actually use it under my eyes and all over my face like it's intended. And it actually really is a very nice powder, and I do like it. And then this one right here, which is Radiant Light, has really just kind of helped to add some glow to the skin, to kind of marry my bronzer and my highlighter together just to kind of give like a seamless effect on the skin. So I've really been enjoying that. I feel like the highlighter right now is a little bit too light and cool toned for my skin right now in the summer. I have been mixing it a little bit though in with the dim light to kind of set the under eye if I really need a brightening effect. On its own though, it's way too sparkly to use alone under the eyes. I don't know if you can kind of see that. It works as a subtle highlighter, but mixed with the dim light, it really does have a really nice effect to brighten around like the inner corner to the under area of the eyes. I have 3 bronzers to share with you. The first one is by Stila. I put this in my last beauty basket, or maybe the one before. I purchased this and then I actually never used it. And I think it was because I felt like it was too dark. And in the winter it definitely is too dark, but this is the Stila Custom Color Blush, and it's their self-adjusting bronze. So this is supposed to adjust to the color of your skin. Well, in the winter, this was like way too pigmented and dark for my skin. You can kind of see here, very pigmented. And while you could sheer it out, I just kind of felt like you can see there, it doesn't, once it's there, it stays, like, because it's not blending. It was a pretty thick thing. But if you use a light hand while applying it, it's not so bad. So there we go. But you can still kind of see it's a very dark, reddened toned sort of bronzer. So I didn't really use it a whole lot. But my favorite thing to use it for is actually not as a bronzer on my face. So I have used it that way. It is nice now that my skin is darker. But this I've been using as an eyeshadow, and I get compliments everywhere I go. So people are like, what's on your eyes? Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And it's like a russety, I'm going to swatch it again. It's like a russet sort of, hold it next to my eye. I don't know. It's like a russet brown, if that makes sense. And it's gorgeous. It gives me like just this by itself is like the best eye look. So I've really been enjoying this. I get compliments on it. Like I went to Ulta and they're like, what is on your eyes? And it was this, and it was only this. So this is definitely a favorite for eyeshadow. Bronzer, it's okay, not so much, but perfect eyeshadow. The other 2 bronzing things I want to talk about are things that I actually do enjoy and use as bronzers. And these are from an old matte collection, but they keep coming out with these colors, I feel like, every single summer in every summer collection. I've got Sundipped and Nude on board. And there's just slightly different tones. Nude on board, I think is, let me double check here. Nude on board is very sort of yellow toned, and I didn't quite know what to do with that. And then I bought this one first and I had been using it the most, and it was Sun Dipped. And I really liked it for a while till I obviously found other bronzers, things like that, and it just kind of fell to the wayside. But now that my skin is kind of tanned up, these are not much darker than my tan skin, and I don't like that crazy contour, obvious look. I just don't like it. And these on my tan skin, it just adds a little something. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it just kind of completes the look, makes you look like you're sun-kissed. It gives a slight glow to the skin. It just finishes everything up, and I absolutely love these for when I'm more tan. So I actually hadn't used this one hardly at all, and now there's a dip in it. And I also have been using them to kind of marry my looks together. If I'm going to use them on my face, I take a large sort of blendy fluff brush, and I make it my transition color too, just to make everything cohesive. And I've really been loving these. Next item is another thing that was not okay for my skin when I bought it, and this is the Shimmer Brick Compact by Bobbi Brown, and this is a nude glow. And this came out, I believe, like last fall, and I saw this on Vanessa, who is the Bombshell Suite. If I can remember, I will link her below. But she put up an Instagram picture with this, and it looked gorgeous. I'm like, oh my god, I have to have it. So then I went to Nordstrom and I ordered it, and then I got it, and I realized as a highlighter for me, this was way too dark. I couldn't use it. So I kind of dabbled a little bit, like tried to only get the one side, and that was still too dark. It just didn't work out for me. Now that my skin, again, is darker, it's a gorgeous highlight. It's a gorgeous blush topper. It just really brightens up the face. I already have highlighter on, but I feel like you need to see this. So hopefully you can see this. So I'm just going to swirl it all around in here. And then, and I don't know if you can kind of tell, hopefully you can kind of see that, but it gives, like, I already had highlighter on, I don't know if you can tell, but it just gives like the most gorgeous glow to the face. So this is definitely a summer favorite. I feel like all of these things are kind of summer favorites for me. Now I feel like I have to even out the other side, even though I can't, I don't know, can you see a difference? I don't see a huge difference, but let me even out the other side. Alright, I'm going to go to the gym after this, and once I get sweating, my face is going to be like really bright. Okay, so then the next item is a blush, and it's the Benefit Rockateur, and this was, I believe, one of the only blushes that I took with me to Hawaii, because I knew it would transition well, because this blush I feel looks good on everybody. So it's like one of those very shiny, shimmery blushes. Let me just kind of use my foundation brush to even that out now. Okay, it's one of those very shiny, shimmery blushes that's kind of got a rose, but then like a pink, and then almost like a purple undertone with almost like a peach shift. It's crazy. It doesn't look duochrome, but it's very multi-dimensional. And I'll put it here. And I feel like you can just wear this with anything. And that's what I wanted to take with me, was something that would kind of like give me that summer glow, but that I could wear with everything. And this blush is just gorgeous. So really loving it for that. I feel like when my skin is more fair, I have to go through like I just did with that highlighter and take my foundation brush and go around the edges just to kind of marry it into the skin. But I love it. I think it's great. Okay, so I feel like this pops up in my favorites every single summer, and this is the Evian Natural Mineral Water. It's just their facial spray. It seriously is an expensive can of water, but it does such a fine mist that it is very cooling. And I feel like in the very hot, like you do a change of command ceremony or something like that in the military, or you're burning up, you pull this out of your backpack and it's like, ah. But it also like refreshes your face and your makeup as well. Here, I just applied a bunch of powder to my face. Let's there we go. It doesn't have anything special in it. It's just water. But every summer I buy this and I love it. Like it's my favorite summer spray because you can put it on anytime since it is just water. It's got so many uses. I don't know. Love it. Next item. Oh, and the men love it too. Like I was doing that and they thought I was so ridiculous, but then I sprayed them in the face and they were like, "Oh, this is great. I can actually feel a breeze now." It kind of just cools you down if you're like burning up. So then the next item is the Reve de Miel by Nuxe. I don't know. I'm horrible at pronouncing anything French. I never took French. So I feel like a hillbilly like trying to like pronounce things phonetically. But this is the Reve de Miel. And this is just their lip balm. I got this while in Hawaii just because I needed something to put on my lips. It was like $20 and I was kind of like, ugh, that's expensive, but considering the price and how much you get, I'm putting some on now. Considering the price and how much product you get and how good it is, I definitely understand where the hype is coming from. This just makes my lips feel really, really good, and I just keep wanting to like press my lips together, like and I get the hype surrounding this now, especially like I buy the Dior lip balm and I like it, but it's $30 and you don't get near the amount of product that you get in this. Like the Dior container looks much larger, and then like I hit pan on it within like a week of using it. So I definitely see why people really enjoy this lip balm. So happy to have it. It's definitely going to be used. And then my last favorite, well, my last like physical favorite that I can show you is this FabFitFun speaker. I got it in the box and it has really come in handy. I thought I would just be using it on the beach or whatever, but this puts off really good sound. You can kind of hang it near the shower, and it's also hands-free for your phone if you want to talk. But what I use this the most for was, many of you may know I am in the Army band, and I'm in a performing group, and we were put in situations where, since we were off on tour, we didn't really have like the amps and all the equipment to like plug devices into so that the entire group could hear like a certain song or something like that performed, or so that we could point out harmonies or anything like that. We didn't have that. So we were trying to listen off of people's phones, but it wasn't working. Like, we were all like trying to hear our different parts and we couldn't get it. So I actually was able, like, and everybody was using it, so we were like syncing to it. If we had a particular song we wanted to do, we were syncing to it so we could hear all the parts. And this thing, such great quality, we could hear all the parts. It came in handy. It really did. It was like a lifesaver. And like, everybody was like, where did you get that? Or why did you even think to bring it? I brought it for the beach. But it ended up being really awesome. So really pumped about that. Now I want to talk about somebody that I found on YouTube, and I found her through, and I don't know if you guys do this, but if you find like a YouTuber that you really like, I then go in and I look at the other videos that they've been liking or things like that. So that's really good, like, to like people's videos, and I've been trying to get better about doing it. To like people's videos that I actually like, to where if people enjoy watching me, they can then go in and see like who I've been liking or kind of my taste. Like, so I was able to find Mercedes, who is what is it? It's a French name. Et la musique, Amour et la musique, which is love and music, whatever. But I was able to find her through Lipstick Lady 518. So then I was watching Mercedes, really loving her videos, and then I saw who she liked, and she really likes a woman who, she has a blog, which I haven't followed the blog yet because I haven't gotten around to it, but I definitely will. But she has a blog, and it's called, I think, A Little Bit, etc. I will actually leave her linked below. But she's very knowledgeable, like in skincare and makeup, and she kind of has a very minimalistic vibe about her, like with clothing and things like that. I follow her on Instagram as well. She just has a very minimalistic vibe, and she's one of those women that you know that she knows what she likes, and she doesn't go out and like buy everything in sight. She knows that she's a neutral person, and so she buys and uses neutrals, and her skin is gorgeous. I absolutely just love watching her videos. So I found her, and I'm just kind of like obsessed. Like, I went through and watched everything like a creeper, and she's only been making videos for about a year now. So yeah, I don't know. I went on a binge though, like a creeper, and then I told her like a creeper that I went on a binge, like, I've been watching all your videos. But I just really love them. So highly suggest you check her out, and I'll leave her link below. So now I have two unfavorites. The first one I did a video on, and it was this Beauty 360. It's sold exclusively at CVS, and it's a beauty blender sponge. And I thought because of the color, and it was in a plastic package where you couldn't feel it, but I thought because of the color that, oh man, they could be using like the same stuff or whatever. But on the inside it has like this little reservoir to where you put your makeup in, and then you're supposed to then like wet, you know, obviously wet it first, put your makeup in, apply it to your face. It is not as squishy as a beauty blender. It's actually quite hard. Like, I guess you can't tell the easiness because my muscles are so big. But this is just very, very hard, and this is like, okay, here, you can probably tell better this way. See? Squishy. Not so squishy. Alright. So, this is just garbage. After this video, I'm going to give it to somebody, or like, I washed and sanitized it. Maybe my sister-in-law will use it because she actually reuses, like, you know, like the little makeup applicator sponges that are all stuck together like triangles, and then you rip your triangle away and then you do that. She reuses those. So washed this up and sanitized it, and I think I may just pass this her way because it's probably better than the little things she's using over and over. But anyway, yeah. Moving on. It was awful. I will link my video below, but it was so hard. And then also this, like putting the makeup in it, it like put a huge clump on the side of my face, and then it was like hitting my face over and over again. But since it has this in it and it's so dense, it had like a suction action on the face where it was like giving me like little mini hickeys. Nothing permanent, but that's kind of like what it felt like. It was like a suction cup to the side of the face. So do not suggest this. Don't waste your $5 or however much this is. Absolute garbage. So then my last unfavorite, or my fail, or whatever we're calling them these days, it's the Aromaflage. And I forget who I watched on YouTube, but they were showing like what's in their purse or what they it was what they packed with them somewhere. And I'm obsessed with videos of what people pack with them. It's something that I think about like way in advance. Like before I went to Hawaii, or even I'm leaving this weekend to go for a weekend, I'm like, how can I pack the smartest? Like, I'm going to try to squeeze everything into one little carry-on for the entire weekend, including my uniforms and everything that I need. But anyway, I'm like, how can I pack the smartest? Well, they had mentioned in their video this perfume called Aromaflage, which is $30 for this little sprayer, by the way. And I'm just like, that is such a genius idea, because I had planned on doing all this hiking and everything while in Hawaii, which, by the way, I didn't do much of that. But I'm like, this would be perfect. It could double as my perfume, but it could also double as, you know, bug spray, because there were a lot of bugs near our barracks. I think I didn't really experience bugs anywhere else other than our barracks. I think they all just swarmed to the huts we were staying in. So anyway, this is supposed to be botanical fragrance and insect repellent, so it's still supposed to smell good on you, but it's the stuff that we like that apparently insects do not. This gave me a headache. Just smelling it gives me a headache. It is terrible. So this is one of those things that I'm just like, I wasted my money. I hate this stuff. And you can see that I haven't really used much of it. I may actually I don't have the thing that came in it. I don't even know if it came with anything like a receipt. I might just give this away. I was thinking about returning it because I haven't really used it. Like the minute I smelled it, I'm like, this is awful. So, terrible, terrible stuff. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, that is my last unfavorite. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Let me know what you've been loving and or what you've been hating. I mean, I don't want to spread negativity, but sometimes I like to know what people have not been loving. And that's it. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!